What's going on, guys? In today's video, I'm gonna go over with you what's been happening in the Bay Area real estate for April 2022. My name is Bojie. I'm a Bay Area real estate agent. If you're interested in real estate in general or investing in Bay Area real estate related type of topics, feel free to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to do things a little bit different this time in this video. Now, instead of just going over these sold statistics, such as the prices and the days on markets in all major Bay Area counties. Now, I'm sure you can find these informations on Zillow too. I'm going to be going over with you how I keep track of the inventory in order to identify any market movements or indicators of market shift, which I believe is what most of us are interested anyways, right? I mean, we all know where the ball has been, but we want to know where the ball is passing to. So hopefully with these informations, you'll be able to make decisions on whether now is a good time to buy or sell or whatever that make the most sense for you. Now let's get into it. Let's first take a look at the general market condition of Santa Clara County in the last 12 months. So the graph that you're seeing right here is the average days on market. This is what you see in the bars, and the days to sell, average sale to list price ratio, which is the graph. And in the last 12 months, the average days on market has been pretty much like, the highest is 16 days in December, and the lowest right now in April that just happened was 10 days, and in March was 10 days. So for the last 12 months, it only take about the average days on market in Santa Clara County area has been no more than 2 weeks. And the sale prices, especially in the beginning of this year, has gone up to as high as 15% over the asking price. That means $1 million home tends to sell for 1.15 million. And let's also take a look at the sale price over time in Santa Clara County. And this is basically telling you in the last 12 months, what is the average sale price of single family homes in Santa Clara County. And as you can see, we're basically around $2 million average for the most part of last year and the beginning of this year. And since January, prices have gone up to significantly. And as of now, in May, we're looking at pretty much like $2.3 million. And you can see the data right here. It also indicates that right now, the property prices are overall in Santa Clara County is $2.389 million. Now, based on what we have seen so far with these two graphs, it is telling you that since the beginning of this year, if you're looking to buy a single family home in Santa Clara County, on average, you will have to budget between $2 million to pretty much $2.5 million and be ready to make your offer within 15 days from the day the home goes up for sale and be ready to offer 15% over the asking price. Of course, Santa Clara County is huge. It includes East San Jose, where the average home prices are around just 1.2 million, and also really expensive cities like Palo Alto, which is around $4 million. But overall, based on the numbers that took place recently, the market is super competitive. However, how do we know what is currently trending as far as where things are headed towards going forward? What we have seen, the past data, such as the average sale price and days on market, what you're seeing on these graphs, these are providing you with solid foundation of the home values and the general expectation of the current market. However, these are what we call trailing indicators. And in the market situation, they're highly speculative and transitional, like the one we might be in for now, with so many moving pieces. The trailing indicator will not give you the most accurate reflection of what's really going on, where the trend is heading towards. For example, if you are a buyer making an offer and wondering if the property will appraise or not, just by looking at how much a nearby home was sold last week, it's not going to tell you the whole story. If you're a seller and your home is listed but haven't gotten any offers yet, you should also evaluate what's going on right now instead of only looking at the home sold down the street last week. Why? Because, I mean, if you look at these graphs, like the homes are closed right now, like say April, March, these homes were probably on the market for sale like way earlier, like say February or January, who knows? And it takes 30 days typically to finally close for these numbers to come out. That means the close price and days on market actually reflects the buyer and the buyer market behavior in March or earlier if we're looking at April and May. So if you want to know what are buyers' behavior today, you'll have to wait until perhaps the end of June, like that's off the chart here. Therefore, the sold stats, although they are foundation of market evaluation, it is a trailing indicator and it does not indicate any market movement as it happens when we know there might be a lot of movements going on in the market. Therefore, besides looking at the past sold data, we're also going to be looking at current market absorption rate or monthly inventory in your interested areas to know where the trend is heading towards. And let me first explain to you what is market absorption rate and monthly inventory concept. So let's first take a look at, let's give an example. Let's pick San Jose and let's pick a neighborhood, let's say Willow, Glen, San Jose. And I want to look at all of the homes are currently for sale. As you can see down here, we have 57 active. That means currently there are 57 homes for sale in Willow, Glen, San Jose area. So let me just quickly write down current active Willow, Glen, San Jose single family home, and that is 57. And now let's go back and look at how many homes have been sold in the last 90 days in Willow, Glen. And here down at the bottom, you can see we have 176 properties that were sold in the last 90 days in Willow, Glen. So these are the entire list. Okay. And let's go put that in there. So last 90 days sold Willow, Glen is, let's say, 176 properties. And that translates to roughly, let's say if you take 176 divided by 3, because it's 3 months, assuming it's 3 days per month. And I'm no mathematician, but I would say it's roughly 58 properties per month. And then what you do is you take the active, which is 57, divide that by 58. And that gave you basically something that's less than 1. And that's what we call the market absorption rate. And what is the monthly inventory then? Well, monthly inventory here means it is less than 1 month. What this means is that the current market in Willow, Glen is capable of buying at least 58 single family homes per month. And now there's only about 57 in store for sale. Therefore, without any new supplies, the current store inventory will not last more than a month and we will be out of stock. So, and typically, if the monthly inventory is 5 months or less, it is an indication of seller market. And in the case of Willow, Glen, based on today's number, I would say if the, let's say, if, you know, for seller market is typically 5 months or less monthly inventory. And what that means is you will have to have an active of, let's say, 57 times multiplied by 5. That is, I'm no mathematician, but I would say this is less than 300 right? Like 275 actives. If you have 275 or less actives in Willow Glen, and based on today's absorption rate, which is 58 units per month, it's still considered a seller's market. It's just in the varying degrees. And what we are looking at right now, literally like less than 1 month of inventory, that means we are in an extreme seller's market. And vice versa. On the other hand, if the market, if the monthly inventory is 6 months or more, then we are basically entering into a buyer market territory. So for buyer market means you need to have 6 months or more monthly inventory. And that translates into the numbers that you're seeing right now will be 57 times 6, and that would roughly go to 342. It will translate to 342 active listings. That means if we're looking at the current Willow Glen San Jose market, if we have 342 active listings for sale, and based on the last 3 months of buyers' demand, which is only moving, let's say, 58 units per month, then we would be looking at a buyer market in Willow Glen. And from 57 to 342, I know that's still a long way to go. So with this, let's take a look at the monthly inventory changes in Santa Clara County. Santa Clara County single family home, and let's look at the monthly inventory. So as you can see from this graph, in the entire Santa Clara County, the last 12 months monthly inventory has been like, the highest was February this year, but it was still just barely over 1 month, literally just 1 month. And all the other months, we have less than 1 month of inventory. That means in the last 12 months, the market in Santa Clara County has been extreme seller market, and especially in 2021's winter months. As you can see, like in December, we barely had less than half a month of inventory. That means all of the homes in Santa Clara County would be sold within 2 weeks based on the demand. And since March and April, we started to see the monthly inventory starts to be in the uptrend fashion. So we start to see a lot more inventory supplies compared to the winter period in December. Now let's look at the active number of homes for sale versus sold in the last 12 months. So this graph will basically explain to you the relationship between how many homes have been sold every month versus how many homes that were actively for sale the same month. The green bar will be how many homes that were sold, and the light blue bar will be how many homes are available. As you can see, in the last 12 months, we've had pretty much more homes sold than the homes that are available for sale. That means that, again, reflects that the inventory has been very, very tight in the last 12 months. And especially so during the winter time, like in December, we barely had any homes, active 307 homes for sale, and that month 819 properties were sold. That means all the homes that were hard to sell, they were staying on the market for long, they were getting sold in December. And coming out of last winter, going into the spring of this year, 2022, the first 2 months were still very low inventory, very low activity. But March and April, we started to see, more properties that are coming on the market for sale. As you can see, in April, we had an active of 954 actives. That's the highest, pretty much, almost the highest since, for a long time. And we had over 1,000 homes sold. So still, the market is taking every property that's for sale, but we started to see the gap between active and sold being a lot closer versus before. That means we started to see a little bit decrease of the market demand, and we started to see a little bit more homes for sale. But the monthly inventory, however, is still in an extreme seller market territory. That means we aren't going to see any major price cutting coming soon. However, though, what the market does indicate is that it's getting softer, and especially compared to January and February, and we have more listings and slightly less sold compared to the same time last year. And there are a lot of speculations as what might be the cause for obvious reasons. I mean, we all know that the home price have gone up a lot already, and the interest rate has already gone up too. And it will continue to go up. And also the overall tech market, stock market hasn't really been performing very well since this year. These could be many reasons why home buyers now might be less aggressive than they were before. And if we monitor the relationship between the monthly average number of sold versus the current number of active, like the green and the blue bar, we can start to see the trend of where the inventory is going on a weekly basis. So let me go back to the Willow Glen example. So, from the Willow Glen example that you previously saw, we know that in Willow Glen, San Jose, there are currently 57 homes for sale, and in the last 90 days, we have sold 176 homes, which means roughly 58, 59 homes per month. And as I'm monitoring the market going forward, if the following week, let's say the following week, the active homes go from, instead of 57, we went down to 49. That means the inventory are getting even less. And then let's say week 3, we're going down to, like, say 44. Then we're seeing more seller market trend here. And if you are a buyer in Willow Glen and you're waiting for the appraisal date to come out, then have your agent prepare these stats for the appraiser, because these informations will definitely means it should definitely help with the appraisal in addition to what has been sold. If you're a seller here, let's say the following week, we go from, instead of 57, we go up to 62, and then the week after, we are probably going to, let's say, 66 active. And let's say all of these homes are a direct comparable with the home that you're selling, and the market absorption is still around 58 to 60 a month. But now suddenly we just have more homes available, and these are all the homes similar to yours in many ways, price wise, neighborhood, schools, and all that. Then you and your agent should be on top of these stats weekly and tie it to why there's suddenly a lot more homes for sale in my neighborhood, and then decide whether or not to make any adjustments or not. This is how we can stay ahead of the curve instead of reacting if we only focus on the trailing indicators like the sold status. So in summary, the current market condition in the Bay Area, Santa Clara County, is that it is still an extreme seller's market. But based on the monthly inventory trend and what we're seeing right now, the active and sold trend, we can see that the market is becoming a little bit softer compared to like December, January, and February. And is this a temporary break, or is this a beginning of a downward trend? I mean, this is really hard to say, but we do know for a fact that the prices and interest rate have already gone up a lot, and the rate will continue to go up while the tech stock is not performing well. So the overall economic condition going forward has a lot of variables. The real estate market in the Bay Area remains active and opportunistic, but also changes can happen suddenly. If you would like to know how your particular neighborhood is doing in terms of real estate numbers, feel free to reach out. And you can also comment down below or email me, and my email information is at the description as well. And I'd be happy to help. So this is a real estate market condition as of April 2022. Hope you enjoy the video and let me know what you think. For all the other unanswered questions regarding to buying and selling real estate or anything interesting that you have noticed about your market, feel free to reach out or comment down below, and I'd like to hear from you. All right, guys, that's it this time. Hope you enjoy the video. I'll see you next time.